The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to this afternoon's Platinum Member Agent Member interview with your host, Todd Walters.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome, everyone. I hope everybody's doing fantastic and business is going great for you. Let me just start out by saying it was awesome, absolutely awesome seeing you guys down in Orlando. And we had a big crowd. It was a lot of fun. And that was the first time we'd ever done one of these Platinum Ultimate Business Building boot camps. So, and I got to say, it was really good. The comments, the feedback, the emails, everything that you guys sent me, bragging about it and how beneficial it was for you, I really appreciate that. We're going to continue to do more of those. Okay, now that we kind of got our feet wet on it. And I don't know when and where the next one will be, but I do know this, okay? If you'll look at your computer screen, you will see that coming up August 21st and 22nd in Toronto, Ontario, is our next Platinum Outside Sales Agent Workshop. Okay, so if you've been to an OSA workshop, I don't need to say anything because you've already probably registered and have your team members, your outside sales guys coming as well. You already know the benefits in it. This is a high-level training event that you just can't find anywhere else on the planet. They're very exclusive, and I want you to picture it like this. If you were joining my team to come and work with me as one of my selling partners, what you get over the 2 days here is exactly what I would do if you had just joined my team. It's the same thing. We just took the show on the road so that I could physically help you and your teams, your OSAs, okay? So this is for team leaders and outside sales agents. If you've never been to one, you got to get there. If you're in the Canada area, I don't know if it's an option area. I mean, you want to be there, okay? They're unlike the boot camp that I just did, nothing like the boot camp I just did, and they're definitely nothing like what's going to happen in Anaheim September 17th, 18th, and 19th for the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. It's our annual Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. Happens every fall at the end of the summer and the beginning of the fall time frame. And this one's going to be spectacular as well. You can look for the agenda to hit the coaching site here within the next week or so. And you'll be equally amazed by that. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on. Appreciate that. I have uploaded a lot of materials from the Orlando Boot Camp to the coaching site. So they're in their appropriate categories. I'll give you one example here. If I go to library, file library, I can't go through where all the stuff has been uploaded. And for obvious reasons, it's a lot of materials that I added to the coaching site. But I'll give you one example because I think it warrants it. So if I go to Platinum Lead Generation Library, okay, hopefully you guys can follow along and see that. And let me scroll down to the appropriate page, and I'll show you one thing, okay? And I uploaded about 30 different uploads, 30 different material uploads, okay? Right here, Platinum Lead Generation Library, it's on page 4. It says leveraging listings to get more listings checklist. There it is right there. ID 757. As a matter of fact, all of these things below it are all new uploads. Your most recent uploads will show at the end or the last page of each file library. Okay, I figured out that that's how things get loaded up. Maybe I can get Adrian to load them the opposite way. I don't know, but I'll talk to him about that. So anyway, so I just want to show you one thing. Leveraging the listings you get to get more listings. Okay? That's a checklist there. You're going to want to go and download ID number 757. Okay, so if you missed the Orlando event, I'm really sorry. You just missed a lot of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to point that out there to you. Thank you. Okay, let's get right on with our call today, our webinar. Okay, got a very special guest who I think is doing really big things. His name is Jonathan Leahy. Let me pull up some of what Jonathan sent me here on the screen. Okay, so a little bit about Jonathan Leahy. I'm getting to know Jonathan a little bit here because he's an engaged member. So just to say a word about that, there are plenty of platinum members I don't know very well. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that those that are more engaged, I get to know a little bit more, because they ask questions, they come around, they're at the conferences, we talk and that kind of thing. So you get to know people. So I've gotten to know Jonathan here pretty well. He actually jumped into our titanium level mastermind as well, and which I think we have one spot available. We limit it to 25, Craig and I do. I think we have 24, I believe there's one. So anyway, so Jonathan is a part of that. So as a result of that, I get to see and spend some additional time with him. And this guy's pretty unique here. So if you get a chance to talk to Jonathan, he'll be more than happy to share with you what's working in his business and what's not. So when I was getting ready to do the webinar today, I was like, who would be really good to spend 30 minutes with to talk about their business and what's working and what's not working, that's making just tremendous strides and gains in income that the other members would benefit from. So Jonathan leapt to mind. So with that, I'm going to open up Mr. Jonathan Leahy's microphone here. So Mr. Leahy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Todd.
All right, so John, you're having a pretty good year. But let's give us some background here. When the year before you jumped into the platinum program, just give us an idea. What was your income for that year?
Like 60,000,
okay,
maybe.
All right, so that's a pretty big deal, man. We don't get a lot of people that jump into our platinum program that made 60 grand the previous year. We get plenty that are doing 100, 200, 300 or more that jump in. That would have been, in my opinion, not normal. A lot of people that are in that income category, they don't do those kinds of things. So obviously, you're a different kind of thinker and doer.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the stories of other people making the leap and, seeing their business grow, and I'm like, you know what? I have no choice but to do it. And so I sucked it up, and I paid it. I'm like, let's do this. Yeah,
exactly. And let's be really clear. Everybody in our platinum level program, like the coaching really here is complimentary. You're actually buying a system. And the system really doesn't work without the coaching. Just like if you bought any successful franchise, and we talk about this like a McDonald's. You buy McDonald's, it doesn't work without the coaching and training from those guys. So it's the same thing here. So the better student you are, the better engager you are, the more successful you're going to be. And you've been pretty well engaged here. So that was what, about 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
All right. So
October 2012.
Okay, so this year, basically third year in the platinum program, you're on pace to do what?
1.3, 1.4 mil.
Okay. So that's pretty spectacular. So let me repeat that for everybody. So when I first met Jonathan, the year before, he made $60,000 in commission income, which is a little above the average realtor in North America. Okay? So here he is now, 3 years later. He's on pace to do well over $1 million in GCI. Now, Jonathan, that will make a lot of people right now watching the webinar today really angry, because some of them have been around for 5 years and haven't done that. Others have a little slower pace of growth, and there are others that have fast-paced income growth like that. So we need to really drill down here and figure this out with you. We're going to use you as a case study, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. Now, so for the record, though, you're not sitting at your office today. You're actually out having fun doing something. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm actually at the National Aquarium in Baltimore. My brother's in town, so I actually took half the day off to take him out. And then when Todd asked to see if I want to be on this call, I'll be like, yeah, of course. So I'm actually in the restaurant right now while everybody's looking at the fishes, at the sharks.
That's great.
And if you hear that alarm, that is the fire alarm that's going off in the restaurant.
Hey man, this is a live gig, so you never know what's gonna go down. So we'll work through all. but yeah, if something happens and you got a bolt, we understand. But let's try to get to as much as we can in the shortest period of time as we can. Okay, so
Sure.
that's a tremendous amount of growth. That Craig would definitely say that's a quantum leap in real estate business. What do you attribute it to?
You know what? It's the associations and really just learning the coaching, of course, but also the associations. Just being surrounded by people who's making it work for them, surrounded by people who succeeded, with the coaching, and instead of hanging around people who's not making it work, I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna pick the brains of the people who are successful, and I start seeing the growth in my business too.
All right, so let's make sure I understand this, because that's I'm not really sure, because there are people right now watching the webinar and people that will watch it in the future, because we are recording it, that do hang around.
Yeah.
They do hang around. They come to the conferences. They get on the call. They're hanging around people, but their growth in their real estate business is not as substantial as yours. So there's got to be some differences. Maybe you pointed them out here. You did say, yes, you came and you hung out, but at some point you made a decision to go a little further than that.
Yeah.
Spend time with, pick the brains of.
Yeah, and also I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to copy as quickly and as fast as possible, because I just wanted to see the growth also. So for I want to say the first year of being in Platinum, I think I spent the first year doubting that it was going to work. So I really didn't do much, and then the second year I started copying, and then you can see the growth when I start to copy. And then I want to say the last 12 months or 18 months, I really made it a goal that, you know what, failure is not an option. And I know that my growth and my success is related to how fast I copy and how fast I implement. So really that just became my focus like the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, all right. So two things. Number one, you blame association, but more intimate association, actually grabbing some of these guys that are doing really well in the program. We all know they're great sharers of information and asking questions.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's actually what you said, how you ended up maybe being a part of our Titanium Mastermind, is there were some other very successful members doing it, and we said, well, I guess if that's what they're doing, I need to do that.
Right.
So that's pretty smart. Okay, and then you mentioned copying and implementing the system. Okay, so and I got to hand it to you. You have turned into a really good copier of the things that work, more so than others. So even though, it's been a week now since the Orlando Platinum Ultimate Bootcamp, and I gave everyone there exactly what X should look like and do, and talked about it intimately, why it was important. So even today, I get stuff from members that send over to me and say, hey Todd, here's my, let's pick something. Here's my business card. Here's my business card. Okay, and that's why I'm showing yours on the screen. Here's my business card as a result of the boot camp. So your comments, please. And my comments are simple. Like, that's your business card. It's not the one I showed you. So we laughed about this at the boot camp, right? I said, look, if Craig and I have great job security, like the members can't even get the business card right. Like we're not going anywhere. So we laughed about that. I had some good times with that. But it really is true. So here we go. I showed you. I said, here is what your card should look like, and you sent it over, and you said, is this as good as it could be? And I said, well, in all honesty, not really. It would be better if it was black and white. And you scratched your head a little bit, but you went and did it. And the reason is because most everybody else's card is all dressed up with color. And you got to admit, don't you, when you have your business card in your hand, which is what we have on the screen right here, and you put it up against any of the others, it's made out of plastic, it's white, hard, different, it stands out, especially with the offers that you have on it, right? Your card stands out among all the others that are stacked in the plate of somebody's house. So the offers are good, and now it even looks different. So,
Yep.
so good job on that. Good job.
Thank you.
So anyway, I wanted to show that to everyone. So what we're looking at right here is Jonathan's business card that he uses primarily when dealing with seller prospects. Is that right?
That's correct. This is also the card that I sent to on the expired listings, on the expired mailers. I include these cards as well.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You've got marketing campaigns that you're doing right now. It's pretty obvious what your unique selling proposition is, performance guarantee. But in our pre-conference, you did tell me that there were some things that were working really well for you right now to get listings. And you just mentioned one of them, which would be your direct mail to expired listings.
Correct.
Okay, now, are you also mailing FSBOs?
I am not, but I should be.
Okay, are you mailing to old expireds?
Yes, we just started doing that.
So what would be old, 6 months or what?
6 months or longer. So 6 months that's not back on the market yet or relisted. We just started a campaign for those too.
Right, do you also hit them at 12 months?
No, I guess I should.
Or a year and a half? Or
No, not yet.
Like you just said in pre-conference, you said that was your #1 marketing campaign for getting listings right now. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So this one marketing campaign, what are you spending on it a month?
Probably like $600-700.
Okay. And what are you making from it a month?
At least 12 grand,
Okay.
12 to 20 grand.
Okay. So you're spending $700 and you're making over $12,000 a month from it.
Yeah.
That's good return on investment.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense that you want to try to find ways to expand that. So for example, if they don't relist their home now, or with you, or somebody else, then at some time in the future they're going to do that. And if you'll do some research in your marketplace, you'll probably find some itch cycle that repeats itself every 6 or 7 months, on average. It may be different for what you guys are, I don't know, but it's worth looking into. It's worth looking into, yeah. So for me, we did, today, 6 months, 12 months, year and a half, 2 years, because we had 2-year-old data from our MLS. That's pretty easy. All right, so anyway, so this card we're looking at right here gets dropped into every mailer that your seller prospect gets. And they get how many pieces from you?
They get 5 pieces in the first 30 days, I believe.
All right, so
or 6 pieces.
So 5 pieces of
6
mail.
pieces.
All right, so that means that they're doing this card like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. So repetition of message. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so everybody's got their eyeballs on this right here, so we're looking at it pretty squarely. Do you have anything else to add before we look at something else?
No.
Okay. All righty. I have 6,822 buyers in our database looking for a home in the area. Your home may already be sold.
Oh, so we just added that. So if you remember, you actually crossed off the other line during the conference last week. And the other line was, and 1,400 and so of them are highly qualified, I think.
Right,
so we crossed it off. So we made the change, and we already reordered the card, so it should be in our mailers next week.
Okay, excellent. All right, so what would you tell me your brand is?
Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. If I asked that of members that were just coming into the program here, they would probably say their brand is their name, or maybe their picture, or maybe their logo from the real estate company. But you get this. At some point, there was a paradigm change for you, and you understood that your brand really is the unique selling proposition.
Yeah, I think our first call, maybe a few months ago, we had a call, and you looked at my business card and you said, "Hey, where's your brand? Where's your USP?" And it was there, but it was very small. And my logo with Remax and the balloon was, much bigger. And I think at that moment, I was like, you know what? It makes sense. I'm just gonna make Remax really small because nobody cares who I'm with, but they care about what we do. They care about, the guarantee. So it only makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point. And I'll say this for the record. It was about 20, it was early 90s. I hadn't had my license very long. And it was actually my Remax broker who told me that my Remax logo was too big. This was about the same time I was getting introduced to Craig Proctor. And I vaguely remember that he even insinuated that it was too big, that I needed to promote. He actually said you needed to promote me more.
Wow.
In order to get more business and less. So it's funny. I just remember that. It kind of popped into my head when you were saying that. And then of course that went on to bigger and better things via unique selling proposition. So, but yeah, I was fortunate. The broker owners at the Remax office I was at here in Metro Atlanta, they understood that very well, and we had a lot of successful agents in their own office. All right, so let's look at another card. I just threw it up on the screen here. This one looks like the other business card that you have, but on one side of it, you talk about the referrals, or your referrals help the kids.
Right.
So what is this card? What is it all about? When do you use it? How do you use it?
We use it. We put it into the direct mail for the newsletter, for the referral newsletters, and also for like our past clients. So we just send it out. We also give it out to like our OSAs. They use this for their clients too. So we want to tell everybody what we do. We want to tell people like, you know what, your referrals help the kids. Like that's just our story now. Like everybody on the team, they know the story, which is if you send referrals to us and we close business, we're going to make sure that a portion of our income is going to be donated back to help the kids. And so that becomes what we stand for.
And that's really good, man, and that's awesome of you to do, and I'm sure the Children's Miracle Network appreciates that. Yeah. So that's good. So I'm guessing this card gets dropped into the envelope along with the newsletter you send out.
Exactly.
Yeah, you said that, and like you said, when you take on a new client, say you sign a listing agreement today, you probably hand a couple, 2 or 3 days over to the new client, either buyer or seller.
Right. So on the back side of our listing authorization is the referral request, the story, and then if they know anybody that's looking to make a move, here's the you can fill in the information here. So we actually ask for referrals on the spot whenever we get a new listing and whenever we get a new buyer, like VIP buyer, we ask for referrals on the spot and then we give them referral cards.
Yeah, let me say a couple of words on this right now. A lot of new members will come to me and say, Todd, I need listings. I need listings really bad, and so what do I do to get listings? And I'm like, well, let me see your business card. And some of them get absolutely annoyed at me because I'm asking about their, quote, business card when they're looking for the magic ad. And I'm like, you don't get it. It all starts with how you think and what you think about things. And your business card tells me everything I need to know about how you think and what you think about. Like if you can't get your unique selling proposition right on your business card, then you're going to suck at all levels, including converting leads. It always starts with the offer, always. So get your offer right first, and then everything else will fall into place. You won't be able to implement the marketing fast enough. Like your people won't be able to keep up with you once you understand the offer and the importance of offers. And we talked about this too in, I think in Orlando, on the universal callback script. I said, look, when you're new or you hire a new outside sales agent or a new inside sales agent, the way you memorize the script is to start with the offer. Memorize the offer first. Then the rest of the script will fall into place. You can mess everything up. You can screw up everything except the offer. If you screw the offer up, you're hosted. So, and you get that here because you've got genuinely really good offers and market match. So, for example, the card that you're sending to new clients, past clients, is different than the card that you're using to go to, where's that? Here it is. The card that you're sending to prospects to try to get them to become a client. So that's all about message to market match. And so you get that, and that's really important. So that's why I wanted to share this today with people, because there's a lot going on here with the person, Jonathan, that can go from $60,000 a year to well over $1 million a year, literally in about 3.5 years. That's there's more going on here that others should study and understand. So anyway, thanks for letting me point that out. Let's look at another example. Okay, now I'm guessing that with this growing business that you have, that you need people to help you to help handle the overflow. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right. So tell us about your team right now. How many agents do you have outselling right now?
We have 9 or 10 agents outselling right now.
Okay. So out of these 10 agents that you got outselling, how many of them joined your team within the last 180 days?
In the last 180 days, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Part of that, you had 6 guys. The reason I say 180 days is because people that come onto your team within 6 months, they really haven't gotten going yet. They may have had 2 or 3 closings, maybe 4. But you really don't start coming into your own, becoming a full-fledged selling partner, knocking down 2, 3, 4 transactions a month for at least 6 months or so. So it makes sense for everybody to understand kind of where you are. All right.
Yeah. Actually, 5 of them, half the team.
All right. So half the team is new, and half the team has been around for longer than 6 months.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this card here, this is your looks like recruiting offer on it.
Yeah.
So what do you do with this thing?
So we input this into. We have a letter for all of our new listings. We leave a letter in there that's stamped buyer agent take 1, and inside the letter, inside of that envelope is a recruiting letter that you showed in Orlando, and inside of that recruiting letter, the envelope, we also input one of these cards. So we try to recruit the buyer agents who are showing our listings. I mean that's just one aspect of our recruiting system.
Okay. So I'm just reading it here. You'll pay me the difference.
Yeah.
All fees and appointment supply, no calling, no growing prospect, no desk fees, leading edge systems, make selling more, faster, easier. Okay.
And I'm going to give credit to Rudy. I actually copied that backside from Rudy.
Mm-hmm. And I think he got it from Bill.
There you go. We just copy each other.
You got it from me. Well, that's how this works.
Yeah.
But there is a problem with that. Like if I showed you the original one, yours is not far off from it. But when we copy members, okay, sometimes the materials get lost in translation. It's like if I lined 10 people up and I told one of the people in the front of the line a story, and they turned around and repeated the story to the next person, and they turned around and repeated it to the next person. By the time it gets to the end of the line, it's probably going to be a different story. It won't be the exact same story that I say to the very first person. So that's what happens here many times with members, is they'll take what Craig and I call the control, the thing that we've already tested that we know works, and the member will reproduce it in their own image, and then that gets copied by another member, it gets copied by another member, and before you know it, there's stuff out there that it's really not as good as it could be, and there's holes in it and that kind of thing. So just FYI. So for example here, make $100,000 to $250,000 selling real estate guaranteed, or we'll pay you the difference. Okay, are you going to pay me the difference between $100,000 and $250,000?
When they go to Top Agent 100K, it tells them the detail of the guarantee.
Okay, well then you want to tell me that, because that's not really clear. I mean, sometimes when things don't make sense or not real clear, people won't do it.
Yeah.
You want them to do. Like you would be better off saying make $250,000 a year selling real estate, or I'll pay you the difference. Okay, or
gotcha.
make at least $100,000 a year selling real estate, or I will pay the difference if that's indeed what you want. Now, the other thing that would be really good here is your unique selling proposition, your brand.
Uh-huh.
Jonathan Leahy brand is your home sold or I'll buy it.
Okay.
And it's absent from this card.
Gotcha.
Which leads me to believe that you still don't fully recognize your home sold or I'll buy it as your brand.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because if it was, you would never leave it off anything. So, as a matter of fact, let me throw something up on the screen while we're on the subject, and to see if this helps. Here 1 second. I don't think it'll take a jiffy. And let's say recruiting. Okay, so here it is. All right, so here's Bill's original offer. Agents get income certainty, join award-winning Watson team. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? There's no guarantee or risk reversal like you have on his card, but, you know, that's his recruiting card. The other side of the card looks exactly like, well, I'll just show you what the other side of the card looks like. The other side of the card looks like that. So on one side he's got his brand, and on the other side he's got his recruiting offer. Now, I'm not telling you to change it. I'm just giving out an example of what I mean in terms of member translation.
Okay.
On the road of things. And this is why the system really doesn't work without the coaching.
Yeah.
Because there's holes, there's leaks in the marketing aspect, and people don't really fully get what they want out of it. All right, here's another one. What would happen if this side of this card, okay, I laid this card down on the coffee table and it got wet on one side? And you've seen that, right? You've had big cards, you lay down and they get wet, and when they get wet, you can't read what's on it. So I can read one side, but I can't read the other. So that's why you want to be really careful about completely different offers. See, on your first card that we looked at, let me show you. So either one of these card sides of the card could get wet. Your brand is still there, your USB is still there, your gold.
Okay.
Are you at the aquarium, or are you at the local child care place?
I'm in the restaurant by the aquarium.
All right, so anyway, but pretty good, and I like that, and that gives us good conversation about things that we can all do here to improve our business. All right, let's look at one more thing. Talk about
Okay.
that. So what do you do with this particular card, this offer here? What's going on?
This one is we leave it at our listings, so buyers can pick up these cards along with the flyer.
Okay, so if you're not happy with your home purchase, I'll buy it back guaranteed. Okay, so what happens if I'm a buyer but I have a house to sell?
I see. Yeah. I need to put that brand in there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yes.
it's like I understand, you know, what you're trying to do here, what you're trying to garner, and I'm with you, and I like it. But if I'm a buyer with a house to sell, I may not be able to make that leap from what you're offering here to you can help me sell my house better than the current guy that I'm looking at this house can.
Gotcha. Should it be the brand about, you know, the home sold guarantee brand, or just the same brand, right? Your home sold guarantee.
You may be better off here for a card like that in that context. You know, one side looks like the home sold guaranteed or I'll buy it, and then the other side like this. If you're not
Got it. Okay.
We'll buy it back.
Okay.
But you'll probably want to write in here. We just, you know, home buyers. Attention, home buyers. You're not happy with what I'll buy back.
Gotcha.
It might help you there.
Okay.
Well, let me get back to my drawing. All right, so anyway, but that's That's four, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 business cards that you're using here. So obviously you're buying into this philosophy that there's no rule that says you have to have 1 business card.
Yeah.
And the same thing is that this is all about the initial offering, the offer. So using the cards and contacts, for example, let me mute your microphone for a second here, and I'll get this little monologue out. If you're using the cards in context, in other words, message to market match, if you can get them really, really dialed in there, now the bigger things that you do, marketing projects, big direct mail projects where you spend thousands of dollars on, radio ads that you're running, like you're running some radio now in your marketplace there, pay-per-click marketing. When you get face-to-face with prospects and you're talking to them and trying to convert them to a signed agreement, all of that is easier. It's way easier when you start with your little test, okay? The little things like the business card, for example. So we got to get the offers right. So you've done that. You've done a heck of a job there, man, and I'm really proud of you, and glad that things are going well for you. So, but everybody can put that into context. Now, if you have some questions for Jonathan, here's what I want you to do. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the Questions tab. You can either raise your hand, we can open up your microphone, you can ask your question, or you can type in your question, and Andrea can actually probably read the question, we'll answer it, that kind of thing. So, Andrea, why don't you jump in here and help us out with that? I'll get Jonathan back on here live. Jonathan, you can open up your microphone. Unless that kid's still banging on their snack tray that they got over there.
No, he's done.
That's great, man. All right, well, look, I appreciate you making time to do this. You're going to be at the aquarium. We could have done something else for another time, but you'd take, 45 minutes or an hour and sit down and do that. That's a big deal. So, Andrew, we probably got a few questions we want to address here before we wrap this up in a few minutes.
We do have a few questions. We'll go ahead and get started with Richard. It says, Jonathan's card does not label his team. What do his OSA's cards look like?
My OSA cards looks the same. So they're pretty much the referral card that Todd showed you. Instead of my face, it'll just be my OSA's face. And, of course, their name and their phone number. So that one right there.
So what does it say here? Your home sold guaranteed, or we'll buy it?
Yeah, or we'll buy it. Call, Ben, 301, whatever his number is, and start packing.
Okay.
Yep. So on the bottom corner on the left-hand side, bottom left corner, there's Remax, and underneath it is our team logo. It's very small.
Okay, so let's just make sure we understand that. So you've got your team member's name. So if I'm on your team, you'll say Todd Walters.
Yep.
Partner.
Yep.
Your home sold guaranteed, or we'll buy it?
We'll buy it.
Call Todd.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What phone number would be on the card?
Todd's number.
Okay, my direct number?
Yeah.
Okay, so is this your direct number, or do you have people call your office?
That one is, if somebody calls that number, it will ring my phone and my ISA at the same time.
Okay. So, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So we tested it. It used to ring to my office, and we're just getting calls not picked up, and people weren't leaving messages, so we just changed it last week to go to my ISA to myself.
Okay, so you're not afraid to change a few things along the way.
No.
All
right, excellent. All right,
yeah.
Good answer. Okay, Andrea, next question.
Our next is from Vic, and he raised his hand, so we'll go open his mic. Vic McCarrion, your line is open.
Yeah, hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Vic.
Good, man. How are you?
Fine, fine. Jonathan, I have a few questions, please. One about the OSA. Where did you get the OSA from? Craigslist or from the card that you were leaving at the listing? How you got the OSA, the 5 OSAs?
So one was from my brokerage. So I told my broker, hey, I'm looking for people. So he refers people to me. We also, of course, leave letters at listings. We also use. So I went to my broker and he helped me download a list of like 300 agents who sold between 3 houses and 10 houses a year. And so I emailed them an offer, pretty much what you saw in Orlando. So I just have a good relationship with my broker, and he was willing to help me out, which is a big deal for me, So that's pretty much where I got him from.
That is great. And thank you. Regarding the expired, Jonathan, did you use Mark's template for the expired, or did you have different thing that you sent to expired?
Word for word, exact carbon copy of what Mark's doing.
And Redex is the thing you used, or
no? I don't use Redex. I have a high school intern pull out like daily reports of what's expired, and then for the second and for the mailers after the first one, she has to go back into the MLS and double check if it's been pre-listed or not before we send out the mailers.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan. We started the same time, but you beat my butt, man. I have to work hard too. Thank you very much, very much. Okay.
You're welcome.
Our next question from Rick. What does your online marketing system look like? Commissions Inc., Bold Leads. Also, is your ISA position in-house or virtual? How many ISAs do you have?
On my online marketing, we use Commission Sync. And from Commission Sync, of course, we do Google, and we also do Facebook. We're not doing Bold Leads, and we just stopped SmartZip because we weren't converting. My ISA, I have one full-time ISA in the Philippines. And she booked 5 yesterday. She books consistently 15 to 20 appointments per week.
Are these buyer appointments or listing?
Buyers and sellers.
Okay.
And she also gets assigned calls. So she's getting everything.
Okay. Do you give any leads directly to your agents at all?
No, not at this time. And, I'm willing to test. So if it gets to the point that she just has too much, then I'll take the sign calls and I can easily reroute them to my OSAs who's ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Who books more appointments, your ISA or you?
My ISA.
Okay. Who books the majority of the listing appointments?
Right now, my ISA.
Okay. And you're giving some listing appointments directly to the other agents on your team?
No. Right now, I'm the only one who's taking listing appointments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right, let's go to the next question there, Andrea.
Case, this is from Stephen. Todd, directed at you. Did you already send out referral newsletter for July?
I don't know. I don't know. I know that it's written and ready to go, but I don't know. I'd have to ask my handy-dandy team in here in my office here in Beaufort, Georgia, if it went out the door and got posted to the coaching site yet, or I'd have to go and look it up. But I'll make a note, and we'll just say go ahead and resend it if it's already been sent. How about that? Thank you. Next question.
Okay, Nazira, one of our members, has confirmed that yes, the newsletter has been emailed, so if everybody just checks their email for that newsletter.
Yeah, typically what happens is it goes out around the middle of the month, depending on what's going on. If we got a big conference happening around that time, then that might push you back a few days. Probably what happened here. And then it also gets posted on the coaching site under the Platinum Referral Marketing System library. And we usually have the last month and the upcoming month posted on the site is typically what we do. So anyway, just FYI for everybody watching and listening. Okay, so let's go to the next question. We got time for one or two more.
Okay, Michael's asking for Jonathan, can we get a soft copy of your business cards?
Yeah. I can give it to Todd, and Todd can post it on the coaching site if he wants, or he can email it out.
Well, I mean, we're doing a pretty good job of showing it on the screen here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can. I don't know. I guess just bring a stack of them to the next conference, pass them out like candy.
Yeah, I'll be in Toronto. So anybody who wants it, I'll bring a whole bunch of cards.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that I like this card. To me, this is really good, especially you got your USP on both sides. You got your call to action on both sides. You got additional ingredients that make up your unique selling proposition on this card as well. So, and we talked about that, in Orlando and repeatedly on many webinars now. And at other conferences, there's 6 key ingredients to your unique selling proposition. You can use them all or some of them, but your USP, your brand, really is made up of a few things. The performance guarantee is one of them. Another one, you got the buyers. You sell homes for more money. Sell them faster, they're more likely to sell. Third-party endorsement. Like right here, you've got some endorsement here, this RE/MAX Hall of Fame. I'm not really sure what that is if I'm a prospect looking at that, but it looks like some kind of third-party endorsement.
Yeah.
You could probably exploit that a little bit better. So realistically, you've got 3 of those 6 ingredients on a little tiny business card. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we got time for one more, Andrea.
Okay, Sandy is asking, do you work with buyers? If not, when did you stop?
I don't work with buyers. I probably stopped like 6 months ago. It hasn't been that long.
When you stopped working with buyers, did you notice an increase in listings?
Yes.
Did you notice a drop in sales volume with buyers?
Not necessarily. I mean, the buyers that would have worked with me, we just gave away to the OSAs. So not necessarily a drop. It may just take a little bit longer to close some of the deals on the buyer side, but we're still closing a lot of buyer deals.
Okay. So in other words, your sales are still going up even though you delegated the business to your outside salespeople.
Yes, correct.
Been working with buyers. Okay, that's what it should be. All right, excellent, man. Well, hey, look, I want to thank you for making time to jump on today's webinar. And again, the 3rd week of every month, we typically will find the platinum member that does really well, like Jonathan here. We'll get them on a webinar, talk about what's working and what's not working, how things are going, get some success stories, look at some marketing examples, and have some fun with that. So, Jonathan, you're the man, buddy. That's a great job of implementation and of the system here. And I can see why you're being super successful. So we're not going to keep you anymore. I'll let you go back to spending time with your family there at the aquarium, and we'll see you in Toronto.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Todd.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Okay, so with that, I want to remind everybody, look at Jonathan here. He was in Orlando. I saw him at the event prior to that. He's coming to the workshop in Toronto, bringing several of his team members, his outside sales agents there. I already know he's going to be in Anaheim at the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. And some of you will say, wow, that's just too much to travel. And the answer is no, it's not. There's a reason why the members like Jonathan that are on fire, their businesses are on fire, there's a reason why. He's not coming to these events because he's more successful. Don't misunderstand that. That's what he did. He made the decision to do those things, and his business went crazy. It went berserk crazy, okay? So he's just keeping it going. And he's finding, hey, the more I work on my business, holy moly, the more money shows up. So I want to encourage everybody to do that. That's why we do these events. If we didn't think they work, let me be really clear. If we did not think that these events that we put on for you helped you grow your business to crazy levels of success, we wouldn't do them. Trust me, I'm okay with staying home, spending time on my boat with my wife and kids, and doing things like that, go fishing and do other things. I'm okay with that. But we do these because we know the impact that they have on your business, but you have to show up and you have to engage them. Okay, so If you want more listings, I said, if you want more listings, you be in Orlando. Like, that's how this works. If you want more business, if you want more productivity from your sales team, from your outside sales agents, you got them at the workshop. If you want to grow your business to crazy levels of success, you do not miss the Millionaire Agent Maker Conference in September. It's just how this works. So I think we're doing better at getting that message across to Platinum members. We're not doing so good at getting it across to coaching members, and I feel bad for many of those. Only about half of the coaching members are really, really getting it and showing up in bigger numbers. So as a Platinum member, I want you to do me a favor and try to encourage, coaching members who are at the, in the program there, our first level program. Like, get them motivated to be there. Let them know the big difference it makes in your real estate business. So if you guys could help me out with that, Craig and I, that'd be great. It's different coming from you than it is coming from us. Okay, it really is. So that means a lot. So I want to thank Jonathan and our other members like Jonathan who pour out their time in helping and sharing with the other members in our program. That means so much to Craig and I. Words are just not good enough here to let you know how grateful we are and thankful we are for that, because it is different coming from you than it is coming from us. Success leaves clues, and you can't deny the success. It's Jonathan's proof right then and there, okay? So with that, we're going to wrap up today's webinar. I want to thank everybody for making time out of your business to be on here and work on your business. Let's get to it. Andrea, thanks for your time. Appreciate everything you do, and we'll see you guys very soon. Go so big.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a wonderful afternoon.